My LPS Con experience, the good, the bad, and everything in between. I want to go ahead and give a warning. At some point, I'm going to be talking about some triggering stuff, including some self-harm and suicidal ideation, so if you're not comfortable with that, I will give you the timestamp to skip to when that discussion is over. As a brief little explanation, LPS Con is basically a Littlest Pet Shop convention that has been going on for since about, I want to say 2016, 2017. A big part of LPS Con's charm and what the founder and CEO like to talk about most is that this convention went from a small little get-together in a park to one of the fastest growing conventions for toys, specifically Littlest Pet Shops, that there's ever been. This year, LPS Con 2024, I was lucky enough to be able to get tickets and fly down to Las Vegas to attend the convention. Unfortunately, this is an experience that I would never ever do ever again. We'll start off talking about the positives. I was really happy to be meeting my friends. There were a ton of really awesome people. The ambassadors were super cool, really chill, down to earth. All of the artists that were there priced incredibly well. I have trouble fitting in with people, so having this space where I could connect with people about an interest that we share was awesome. I also even won an award for a short film that I made, like specifically for a contest that was held by Puppy Lover 863. I got this really cute trophy, 2 little blind boxes, one of them was signed. I'm never gonna open them, so sucks, but this was a really great experience. Now that we're done with the highlights, let's talk about the not so great parts of this. I had a content creator pass. I spent extra. The general admissions pass was about $50, give or take, and then the content creator pass was $125.99. At some point, the price could go up and down. I'm not sure what that depended on, but I've seen some people's tickets were $139. Being a content creator would basically give you extra perks, extra passes, like you could go into the con a few hours early, you could go in at 11, while general admissions could only be let in at 1. You got a little goodie bag, you could go to the 2nd and 3rd floor, while general admission could only stay on the 1st floor, you had access to workshops, etc, etc. Now that sounds very worth the price if you ask me. Until you realize none of that is remotely true. I'm gonna show a little diagram right here of the list of things that you would get if you had a content creator pass, and then the one I'm showing now with the green check marks, those are the ones that everyone could do, no matter if you had a general admission pass or not. And the reason everyone could do this is because no one was there to check what badge you had. That leads me to my next issue, the security, if you would even call it that. I honestly feel like those were not real security guards who were there. They were unprofessional, rude. They ended up not checking a lot of people's bags and then just kind of letting people go in and out as they pleased. Eventually, no one was even standing at the door half the time, which is hella dangerous considering we're in Las Vegas and this is an event for children of all ages. It was just not great to see. Gave them a bit of grace at the beginning of the convention because it was so uncoordinated, there weren't good lines, no one really knew what was going on, but by midday they still hadn't shaped up and people were just getting away with kind of doing whatever, and it was just really not great to see. People felt very unsafe with the way security was acting. Just not a great experience for that, guys. The line access. Guys, if you are holding a convention in Las Vegas during a heat wave where temperatures were in 107 to 110 degrees, what are you doing not putting shaded spots out? There were children, grandparents, parents, teens waiting outside in 110 and above degree weather, just chilling there with no shade. Barely anybody brought water because outside drinks were banned. I don't know what they were thinking, because, obviously not very much. People were fainting. People were passing out. What are you guys doing? What is going on in your brains? Then you would walk inside the convention center and realize that air conditioning basically didn't exist in there because there were so many people. And water went from 50 cents to $8 or $7? You're charging people for water when they couldn't bring outside drink inside? Are you kidding me? That is illegal! That is illegal! That is literally against the law. I don't understand what was happening in your brain holes. Why were you charging people for water? Oh my gosh, it was so infuriating, and it really depended on who you asked. You would ask one staff member and they'd be like, oh yeah, the water's 50 cents. You would ask another staff member, they'd be like, yeah, the water's $8. And then at the very end of the convention, they finally got their brains in check and started giving it out for free. But at that point, people had already passed out and fainted, so like, a bit late there, guys! The goodie bags or the swag bags were also a huge disappointment. Like, you were expecting something good. I got expired candy in mine. Some of my friends didn't even receive LPS. And then I also got these really cheap, obviously from the dollar store, finger lights. Like, guys, are you kidding me? And other people were receiving the LPS head while someone else was receiving an LPS body. I don't know what they were thinking. Obviously not very much. Talking isn't really my strong suit, so I have a few pictures describing the other behaviors and the other things that went down, because I do want to do it in a respectful way. So I'm going to be showing those, and then we're going to be talking about LPS Con's response to all of this. Now, when people started sharing their stories about how LPS Con did not treat them well this year, LPS Con responded. And they did not respond well. First, they messaged people, specifically telling their stories, to talk to their CEO about having like a little call to talk about how they can make LPS Con better in the future. And people would say yes, and then their appointments would get canceled. A few people who said yes and their appointments stayed ended up dropping out after LPS Con put out a massive statement, effectively victim blaming everybody who was talking about their experiences, and I will put that right here, right now. Give you a little chance to read. No apology, no taking accountability, nothing. Just victim blaming, and frankly just lying about people's experiences and saying that we are the liars. Yeah, alright guys. Also the manipulative little bit about, this started with being a 13-year-old in a dream. And that's great. That is a great story. But as the convention grows, you need to grow with it. You need to hire people that will help you if you cannot handle it by yourself. You need to hire proper security. You need to let people have water and need to have the medical supplies that they need. You cannot rent a space that's made for 300 people and then invite 1,000 to 2,500 people. That is a recipe for disaster. You guys didn't handle the situation right. You put us in danger. That's not our fault. We are calling it out, and we haven't been mean, we haven't been rude, we have been clear and firm that this needs to change. And this isn't new behavior, LPS Con. Things like this have been happening since 2018, 2019, and people have just started talking about it because you threatened them with lawsuits if they came out about it. After they put out that response, most of the people who had decided to call the CEO to talk about what they could do better decided to drop out. After that, people kept posting stories. There was a whole boycott LPS hashtag going around, which I completely support personally. I don't think anybody should be put in that situation. And then LPS Con came out with another response, and this one is absolutely disgusting. Here's where the trigger warning comes in. There is mention of suicide and self-harm. If you're not comfortable with that, you can skip to the time shown on the screen. That is when the topic will be dropped. Here is what the official Littlest Pet Shop Convention decided to post. If a member of our team decides to do something drastic, it will be on the community's hands. What the fuck? No, seriously, what the fuck? By the way, nothing was photoshopped. Nothing was photoshopped, and there were no threats sent your way. Everyone was incredibly respectful. We were firm, but we were respectful. No one sent you threats. You are threatening us right now. If you really did receive threats, then I am beyond sorry. No one deserves to be sent threats. But at the same time, you are working for a popular convention's Instagram page. A popular convention that screwed over so many attendees so bad that people were fainting. People had to leave early. You denied a baby water because the mother didn't have cash. Please, tell me what company wouldn't receive backlash from that? If you can't handle it, then you shouldn't be online. And don't blame someone for your suicide or self-harm attempt, okay? If you are feeling suicidal or like you want to self-harm, here is the National Suicide Hotline, alright? You can contact a therapist. You can talk to a close friend. You can check yourself into a mental facility. There are multiple different ways that you can handle this, but you do not get to blame a community for the way you're feeling. Your feelings are yours, and if you're feeling awful, I'm sorry. That really sucks. It stinks. I know it does. You're talking to someone who has been in the mental hospital multiple times. You're talking to someone who has gotten put into the hospital because of attempts. You are talking to someone who has struggled with self-harm since they were 9. And I have never once blamed it on anybody else. You do not get to blame the community for speaking their truth, alright? It's fucked up. Do you know how many people you probably hurt with that statement? You do not get to put another person's lives on people's hands. That's disgusting. By the way, there was also no proof of any of what they said. No screenshots, no texts, nothing in the comments that proved that they were getting harassed, that there were photoshopped images, etc., etc. I really recommend going and checking out other people's stories and accounts. I will have them all linked down below. Please, please, please go give victims of this treatment some extra love and care. They really do deserve it. Don't give any hate to anyone involved. Thank you for watching. Don't go to LPS Con. They suck.